this is another thing that some of you might have heard about and some of you might not have heard about. Marvel Entertainment and Motive Studio are teaming up for a new Iron Man game, which is supposedly a single-player, third-person, action-adventure Iron Man game that's being developed at Motive. It's interesting. I mean, I do think some people have said that they don't like that it's third-person. I kind of prefer that. The idea of like flying first-person in the Iron Man UI, it gives me nausea just thinking about it. But granted, I do get motion sick of this type of thing a lot. So whatever. With this though, it seems very, very interesting that they're coming back to this. Like, I don't know. I just find it interesting because I don't think of Iron Man as like the cream of the crop IP right now. But you know, especially after everything that happened with Endgame, you know, it seems interesting that they're choosing to go with this route. But who knows? Maybe they just will nail it and it'll end up being really, really good. It's probably a long ways out, but you know, more games like this, the better. Especially because there haven't been a ton of great Iron Man games that have come out in years past. Jacob linked me this one, which is from the PS2 era. You guys remember this? I remember playing this. Where you like fly around and you shoot these things. Like this was the extent of most Iron Man games. Like you kind of float around a little bit, you shoot some things. It's just crazy. Like I rewatched the original Iron Man movie from 2008 recently, and the original Iron Man movie was like, I really liked it, but it's weird to think that like this game came like around the same time. Like it's just weird to me, like because this looks so old but that movie doesn't feel as old. It's just different. I remember this part with the military bases specifically. The flying was so bad. Oh my god, it's so bad. Yeah, this big military base in the canyon, I remember this so vividly. I must have gotten stuck on this part for a long time because I remember this part really clearly. And then you like fly around and you shoot the missiles as they come down. Oh, well, nice job, dude. Pepper. They have like the discount Fiverr voice actors for it. Oh, good memories. Yeah, it's not easy to make these games. I get that, but it also is weird to me that sometimes we get, let me put this up here. Sometimes we get returns to these franchise ideas that I just never would have thought. So this apparently is a canceled PS3 game, Avengers game from THQ as well, that never saw the light of day, but it was a first-person Avengers game for the PS3. And like it doesn't actually look that horrible if I'm being real. Like this game never saw the light of day. This game never came out. This is like a leak that came out after is my understanding, but like what a weird thing. And then like it transitions from the first person perspective into the third person for these combos and takedowns. It's really interesting. Then the Iron Man, it has the typical like first person, almost like first person fantasy game thing where they run around like this. You know, like imagine if you're running through life and you're just, because your hands have to be in view the whole time. But like a first person Hulk game, like what on earth? And it seems interesting. I don't know what this looks like for a whole video game, but it seems compelling at least a little bit. But it was canceled for whatever reason, you know, just never came out. But this is one of those things, like it makes you really realize, like, imagine if you worked on this. Imagine if you were one of the developers. You spend years grinding this out and like it never sees the light of day for some, like any number of reasons. You never know. You never know why it might be canceled. It could be canceled because like, oh, there's like financial issues elsewhere. Yeah, so like Solid Python, I think it was canceled because THQ was going bankrupt. Yeah, well, and that could be one thing where it's just some other game they were working on wasn't very good. They released it and it didn't make the money back, so they had nothing in their bank accounts, so they couldn't pay for them to finish this game. So even though they were like 70% of the way done, they weren't ready to sell it. And so instead of selling it, they just shut it down. Just like, well, we got to cut our losses. That's it. Oh, well. That kind of thing happens, and it's just a bummer. You know, it's easy for us to look at this and just be like, they should have just finished it and put it out. But it's like when you have salaries and contractors you have to pay, and they get pretty expensive, pretty damn expensive pretty quick. If you don't have the money to pay for it, there's no finishing it. You can't ask hundreds of people to keep working on a game like this for free. That doesn't work. If you don't have the money to pay them, the game's just over. Game over, man. Game over. I'm just surprised at how solid this looks. Like it honestly doesn't look bad. I could see this being turned into a full game pretty easily. Business is murky AF, and you can't make missteps at that scale. For real. And I think people, like, it's easy for us to ignore the unique nature of video game business, because video game business is really, really tricky, since you get like one chance. Up until recently, like, live service wasn't really a thing. You had one chance to be successful at your game and to put it out and have it received well and make money. After that, it would hit the secondary market. GameStop would come in and sell the game for like $5. You know, you wouldn't get any of that, any cut of that. You only make money on new copies sold. So you put the game out and then you're done, and you just hope it sells enough. And that's, you know, nowadays they can sell a DLC. They can try to rejuvenate interest in the game with a Netflix series, an anime. They can do stuff like that, and that can help it be successful on the back end. And you can sell DLC. You can sell it on Steam and still get revenue from it. But back in the day, I mean, it was, you had one chance, and if it didn't do well, you just lost your money. You just lost it. You know, you're done. You're done. Game over, Red Rover. So, yeah, that's one. Jacob linked me, and I was like, geez, man, it doesn't actually look that bad. Like, it looks pretty solid. Looks pretty solid.